Hey y'all, did you tell your friend before you came in here? I hope you told your friend, okay? It's been 2 weeks without me talking to y'all, so I thought I'd pop on because it's long overdue for us to come on and talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville, as well as do just a little mini kiki on Real Housewives of Atlanta. So let me get to the intro. Hey y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you're returning, y'all, welcome back and thank you for returning. Okay. So the streets have been talking. The streets have been saying, y'all, I didn't heard so much about. Oh, hey, Bondi. She said, "Okay, I've been waiting." I didn't heard so much about people talking so bad about Real Housewives of Atlanta in these streets. So bad. Like every time it's an episode, people talking about ratings are dropping. People were saying allegedly that they're gonna fire Kenya and Candy, and people coming up with all kind of stuff, y'all. And you know, I was kind of like, it's Memorial Day weekend. The ratings are gonna drop. People doing stuff. Shit, I was doing stuff. I was gone. Okay. Um, Came back with a fucking stomach bug. I was fighting for my life. Not literally, but y'all, I was fighting for my life. If you ain't heard of norovirus, you should know what it is. And watch out. That shit was disgusting. It was a 3-day virus. And yeah, things have been crazy. But y'all know I always be gone, then I come back, then I be gone, then I come back, and then I be like, oh my gosh, y'all, let me tell y'all what happened because we friends, right? So anyway, y'all, ratings are gonna drop naturally. Um, but after I watched the episode this week, I started to take notes, and then after a while, I was like, I'm not even gonna take notes no more. And I'm gonna tell y'all why I think Real Housewives is leaning this direction. And I'm gonna tell y'all, it's because of the pure fuckery of Marlo Hampton. We only 3.5 minutes in, and I just got to get this shit off my chest. Like, I was trying to decide if I even wanted to come on and talk to y'all about Real Housewives of Atlanta. But I watched the episode, and I've been watching the episode, so we might as well talk about it. So let me go ahead and say hello to everybody that's in the chat. Hey, Keisha Boo, first to comment. Hey, Shay K, Marcia, Nafisa's daughter. Hey, girl. Alicia Mitchell, Love Chris, Miss Ann, Felicia Smith, Nikki Nicole. Hey, Necey D, my girl Bondi, Kayla, and then Harold and Delia. Hey, y'all. Okay, so I'm gonna tell y'all it's because of the pure fuckery of Marlo Hampton. Okay, I truly believe that this show, y'all, we have been asking for new blood, Haiti, for a long time. We was asking for, hey J Mac, new blood for a really long time on Real Housewives of Atlanta. We thought Cynthia was boring. Portia, we knew she was leaving after stealing that lady husband. Stealing that lady husband. And we just wanted new peach holders. And then they gave Marlo Hampton a peach, y'all. And when I say that this show has taken a turn because of the pure fuckery of Marlo Hampton, it's because Marlo is coming on here with these reaching ass storylines. And it's just been hard to watch. I think for the longest, people have been having nostalgia when it comes to thinking about like the OG Real Housewives of Atlanta. I've seen a shift in people even asking for Nene Leakes. Okay, I was always a Nene fan. I rode with Nene like all the way to the end, right? But people came to a point to where I felt like the masses were like, you know what, fuck Nene, right? Y'all want Nene back now. Y'all want Nene back now. Y'all, I have even heard people say that they miss Cynthia. Okay? Like the way that we're starting to realize, like, oh, you know what? I said Cynthia was born when she was on the show, but she actually was given some. It's out of pure desperation because we want this show to be something that it hasn't been for a minute. Now, I feel like the season could get better. Okay, let's be real. We only a couple episodes in, but I feel like it also is going to get worse because of Marlo. So let's just get down to what I've been seeing over the past couple weeks. I haven't taken notes, so this is really just off the top of my head. As far as cousin Courtney, take a nap. You don't even go here. She's not my type of girl. Courtney, I feel like, is probably one of the worst casting choices, only because she's literally like Marlo #2. She's coming on the show with pure fuckery. She came on the show talking about, oh, well, Candy, you said you know me, but you know of me. Oh, well, we don't know each other. What are y'all beefing for? The math is not mathing. It didn't make sense at all. Okay. So that's my thoughts on Courtney. When it comes to Sonya and her family, I was actually thoroughly pleased to hear that Ross does not want to have a house full of people. Now, hold on, because every time I make comments about Sonya and her traditional Jamaican household with the mom and the dad and everybody and their brother and their sister and their cousin and their kids in the house, people they want to come on and they want to educate me about what other cultures' traditions are. I understand that, y'all. But I'm going to tell y'all what I think is weird. What I think is weird is that you have, let me back up. Let me back up and give y'all further reason to why I think that this dynamic is weird. In a traditional household, in majority of cultures, the men are the leaders of the household, correct? So now knowing that Sonya and her sister, who are both Jamaican, married non-Jamaican men, to me, it wouldn't make sense for these non-Jamaican men to want to be in a household with so many blended families. It wouldn't make sense to me unless somebody was benefiting. Okay. Sonya's benefiting. That's why she wants to do it. Okay. Number one is cultural. Number two, she's benefiting, right? But y'all know who else is benefiting. Sonya's sister is benefiting. Sonya's sister's husband is benefiting. Now, if Sonya's mama and daddy lived with them, I wouldn't even be discussing this with y'all. I wouldn't even say her parents didn't need to live with them. But the fact that your sister and her husband are both employed through you and have an issue with working for you, but not with living with you, blows my mind. And I think that they should have been left that house a long time ago. Should have left the house a long time ago. I think that Sonya should just hire help outside of your family. And that's how I feel about that, right? Okay. So now we move on from that to, let's talk about Sheree. We just gonna high level. Sheree Martell. Bye. Okay. Sheree and her fibroid storyline. I would have preferred you come on the season and that being your main storyline over Martell. Although I'm gonna be honest and say I still would have came on here and lit your ass up for saying that storyline wasn't given. So it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. But Martell Hope was not the answer. Okay, and the next thing that I want to jump on to is Candy. Y'all, this episode, Candy, y'all, we know that Candy is booked and busy, right? It's just so interesting. This is another reason why I know that y'all are tired of the dynamic of the show. For the longest time, people were saying that Candy was only coming on Real Housewives and promoting her businesses, and that was it. I'm not going to lie and act like I didn't believe that too for a little bit of time. But now, after seeing Candy for years and years and years, this is her real life. You know, Candy is always doing businesses. Candy is getting awards, getting nominated for things. This is her real life. So I don't feel no type of way about Candy showing her businesses, right? But back to my point, I know that y'all are wanting the show to get back to its amazing grace, because now people who were initially saying that they didn't fuck with Candy, now all of a sudden y'all love Candy. And that's because of the pure fuckery of Marlo Hampton. Now, Candy and Mama Joyce, I will say this episode where Candy sat down with her mama and had a conversation with her mama about disrespecting her husband, to me, I felt like it was a complete, I guess, resolution of something that I had been wanting from Candy seasons ago. I remember seasons ago, Candy was on the show crying because people were advising her, like, hey, you need to tell your mama to back up. You need to do this. People were trying to help coach her, or I guess give unsolicited opinions on what type of treatment she should accept from her mama or not. And I was so mad because Candy used to be on the show crying, like, that's my mama. That's my mom. Candy used to be on there crying, right? And I used to be like, yes, Candy, I know that's your mama, but as an adult, okay, who makes their own decisions, who takes care of everybody, I'm gonna need you to be able to initiate, and I guess tell your mama what type of treatment you expect from her, right? Um, so I was here for Candy, politely getting her mama together. Like, okay, and when you and your man, or when you get you a man, you can go do XYZ. So I'm glad that they've done that. I don't think that Candy and her mom have ever gone to counseling as long as Candy has been on this show. And to me, that's real. Because one of the things that you always see from these reality TV show people, they show their asses on national TV, and then next thing you know, they in a therapy session because it looks like the right thing to do. But in real life, people, haven't been so quick to go to therapy. So I think what we're saying from Candy is real. I'm glad that she got her mama together. Now, as far as shit, canned peaches, all types of artificial sugars, artificially flavored peach, red dye number 5, whatever color you want to call it, y'all. Marlo Hampton, okay, the pure fuckery of Marlo Hampton. Number one, y'all, for me, it started with this damn nonprofit that you came on our TVs with last season. Now, if y'all was subscribed to my channel last season when we was reviewing, I told y'all what I thought about the nonprofit. I don't trust nobody with a gang of nonprofits and not no motherfucking job. Because there's plenty of people like that. There's plenty of people who ain't got no job, and the nonprofit that they created 2 years ago is their job. That don't make no damn sense to me, right? It's given support my lifestyle and I own a nonprofit. I can write my taxes off and I can pay myself whatever I want to pay myself, which is a smart business move, but it's also some scamming ass shit. Do your research. So that's where she first had us fucked up, right? Next, y'all, the next thing she did to have us fucked up was you brought your nephews onto this show. And your whole identity was being a Muncie, right? Only for you in the same season to give them away to your other sister because they're being disrespectful, right? One of the things I will say about that entire situation is, Marlo, that was fucked up that you did that, and we really did light your ass up. Okay, and the internet lit your ass up. I lit you up on this channel, but I will say, it was real. It was real, and I think that was your mistake. Was coming on here and showing your real feelings about something, and the minute that you did, you got lit up. And that's why you came on the next season talking about some fucking therapy. And that's why you came on to this season talking about the nephew who we knew nothing about. Okay. So as far as this season of Real Housewives of Atlanta, the storyline that Marlo has decided to perpetrate is, why didn't Candy send her condolences for my nephew who died 2 years ago? 2 years ago, Marlo. So knowing from the time that y'all had filmed this season, it's been 3 years at this point. Which means when you was on there the 2 years prior to that, you still brought your black ass on this show. And you still wanted to be buddy with Candy. But you weren't thinking about your nephew then. Marlo Hampton, if you don't get the fuck. Marlo Hampton, if you don't get the fuck right now. Real Housewives Atlanta producers, if you get this video in your hands, I'm gonna need you right now to get Marlo off our TV screens. Um, the things that Marlo is doing does not even make sense. It's a storyline that's illogical, pretty similar to her friend Courtney, who came on here trying to beef with Candy because of them allegedly knowing each other or not knowing each other. Like, quite honestly, y'all, let's talk about it even further. I'm not in TV. I don't know shit about how TV work, but I'm going to take a wild guess and tell y'all that in 2023, cameras are not showing up at people's houses and literally just filming them for the day. I'm going to take a wild guess that before cameras even come around, producers are sitting with these housewives, or they're calling housewives, they're calling friends of the show, and they're saying, what's your storyline? Do you got any bones to pick? What are you going to bring up from one episode to the next, right? And if it's not all, spilt on the table before the show, because of course you want some authentic aspects to come through, I'm sure episode to episode, you are producing. You send someone in the room to say, I think the energy's off. What's going on? You do that in between episodes, right? So whoever is Marlo's show person, you need to go to the damn principal's office. Can I speak to the motherfucking manager right now? The stuff that Marlo is doing on this season makes no sense. So rewind. We're at Drew's concert with Candace, right? The ladies end up talking after the concert. When they do talk after the concert, Drew ends up asking Candy about the incident at Blaze. The incident. I'm doing air quotes. The incident is somebody getting shot at her restaurant. Now, Marlo ends up blowing up on Drew after the fact. The one, because Candy refused to talk about it, but mainly because Drew did not use the words shooting. So like I told y'all, they come on this show and they plan on what their storylines is going to be. Marlo was planning on Drew to say the word shooting. Nobody wanted to call it out, and it was something that Marlo wanted to talk about. Marlo wanted to make Candy look bad. You see Sheree in her confessional talking about, we don't know if we getting biscuits or bullets. Sheree, goodbye, okay? You don't know if Martell going or coming. Now, y'all, hold on real quick. Okay, so what I really don't understand is, like, maybe the shooting at her restaurant did trigger you, okay? But if that's the case, every shooting that has happened in Atlanta every day for the past 2 years should have also triggered you to think about your nephew. Because guess what? Your nephew was not killed in Candy's restaurant. You said that. Candy didn't know that man. Rest in peace. But Marlo, the fact that you are using your deceased nephew's death as a storyline to make Candy look bad is fucking disgusting. And you need help. And it's pretty on brand in the way that you are reaching for this storyline. You got an arm span wide enough to be in the fucking NBA, because this reach is just impeccable. It don't make no sense to me how you think that Candy owes you anything. It don't make you anything. Like, what does Candy owe you? You've conversed with this woman multiple times over in the past 2 years. You've tried to be on this woman's good side in the past 2 years. There was a text message that I'm sure you provided production, or Candy provided production. And Candy said, I'm sorry to hear that. That had nothing to do with Candy's restaurant. And the fact that you are coming on my TV screen on Sundays on the show that I like to watch and have a good time at, okay, in my Bella Noche voice. If you on this TV show, then where the fuck am I supposed to go on Sundays if you coming on, TV with these stupid ass storylines? Y'all, this is what happens when I take a cute little break, because I've had these thoughts in my mind for weeks and I haven't been able to share them to nobody. So I'm so glad that we're coming out here and talking. But Marlo, just the audacity, okay? The disgrace. I'm just disgusted that you would use your dead nephew as a storyline. And I'm even more so disgusted that production lets you get away with this stupid ass shit because it doesn't make sense. So for me, I don't want to see it no more. I'm gonna keep watching the show. Y'all know I'm gonna keep watching the show. But all this talk and all these rumors about the show going down, I'm literally telling y'all it's because of the pure fuckery of Marlo Hampton and pick-me's like this friend of the show, Courtney, who they bring it on the show, and they coming up with these storylines that don't matter one way or another, and it's a waste of our time. So as far as these rumors about people thinking about, not people, producers thinking about mixing up the cast and getting rid of Candy and Kenya, if you did that, you might as well shoot yourself in the damn foot, because I'm telling you right now, majority of the people are only watching this show because Candy and Kenya are on the show. If you remove Candy and Kenya from this cast, goodbye. You might as well come up with a new star franchise. Okay. So I think that's pretty much all I have on Real Housewives of Atlanta. This cast trip was horrible. Kenya was sick and she couldn't perform. I don't really think much about Monyetta at all. And that's no shade. I just don't think about her. So yeah, that's all I have for Real Housewives of Atlanta, but we ain't done yet, y'all. Let me read a couple of y'all's comments. Y'all like the video, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about y'all other favorite show, which is Love and Merge Huntsville. Okay, so do me a favor, like the video. I'm gonna read y'all's comments, and then we're gonna come back and talk about the next show. Okay, hope y'all gave that a thumbs up. Let's see. Okay, Naturally Mar. I'm so glad you said this. Naturally Mar said, why couldn't the ladies do something without Kenya? Literally, I was thinking that when I was watching the show. I was sitting at my TV and I was like, they still could have went to the HBCU game. That still, or homecoming game, that still would have been something to see. So I'm glad that they said that. Hey, Ranting with Ricardo. She said, I'm over Marlo. Why not bring it up every single time she was around her? Girl, bye. Just thirsty for any type of attention because she didn't get it as a child. Bloop. Period. Now she reading her. But that's the truth, though. Charm Lock says, we don't know if we getting She by Sheree or She is Wrinkled. Bye, Sheree. Miss Kira says, take her peach, please. Nita says she is sick of it. Couple of y'all agree, but yeah. Sashi says, I like Monyetta. She just needs to be more comfortable filming. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anything of Monyetta. I don't at all. Like, I know some people don't like Monyetta. Some people really like Monyetta, but I'm indifferent. I don't feel any type of way. So yeah, we're gonna have to see y'all. All right, it is time to get into Love and Marriage Huntsville, you guys. I'm gonna have to change the title of the video because I don't even think I put Real Housewives of Atlanta in the title of the video. So yeah, as far as Love and Marriage Huntsville, I do believe I titled the video Big Lou is Too Friendly. Big Lou is too damn friendly for my liking. And part of me wants to give him some sort of benefit of the doubt because I know that you're not privy to all that shit that Marceau was talking in the confessional about your wife not being that pretty, about your wife pretty much not having no sense. But I'm sure your wife relayed to you his comment about Sheree not being quick to slap a motherfucker, is what he said. So, Big Lou, I think you're a little bit too friendly for me. But that's not my concern. That's Sydney's concern. So, let's get into the series of events. Let me pull up my notes. Okay. So, y'all, the episode ends pretty much, the episode starts where it ends the week before, where hold on. I forgot. I did this intentionally, y'all. The episode did not start there. But what I do want to do is recap the series of events that led to this fight, because I haven't been on YouTube to talk to y'all about it. So I really want to let y'all know where my head is at when it comes to the sit down with Marceau, Tiffany, and Martell. So Marceau, Tiffany, and Martell at the end of the episode before last are sitting down, and initially this was supposed to be a meeting for Martell to come and talk business with Tiffany. They were going to talk about Selma. Now, what project they were doing at Selma, I have no fucking clue, because you do a lot of projects with somebody without a builder's license, but okay. And low key, I think that's part of the reason why you brought Marceau there for backup, because you need somebody to give you the answers to the test. So I guess he was supposed to be the one with the license to be able to have that conversation, and you just be the face. But who knows? Who knows? One thing I do know is that you brought Marceau there because you wanted him to light her ass up. But we'll get into it, okay? So, Tiffany ends up talking to the men, and she's telling them, yeah, I had a conversation with Sheree, and I just asked her, how does it feel dating a cheater? And Marceau says, well, what are you going to do with that information? You're married, right? You must be thinking of dating a cheater. And he does that Scott thing. He does the Scott thing where he plays with your mind. He plays with the words that's coming out of your mouth. He gaslights you, and he tries to make you look dumb. I feel like whenever Marceau and his brother do this, they end up looking worse than the person that they try to make look bad. We just had a conversation about this, y'all. On my last Love and Marriage Huntsville review, I believe, when I told y'all that Maurice was doing this to Kimmy, and what he was doing was strategically misunderstanding in order to try to make Kimmy look bad. Or would I say bad? Yeah, I'll say that. He was strategically misunderstanding, and that's exactly what Marceau did in this situation with Tiffany, right? So one thing I will say is, while I am going up for Tiffany, I will tell y'all this. I feel two ways. So as far as Tiffany having a sit down with Sheree, I didn't mind it. I did not mind Tiffany having to sit down with Sheree. I didn't mind Tiffany asking all these direct questions. I didn't even mind Tiffany saying, oh, so you think it's good like that he won't cheat because it's... I didn't even mind that, y'all. You want to know why? Because it's good TV. And Tiffany is giving. And Sheree, you brought your stupid ass. Hold on, y'all. I am almost for no reason. Hold on. But for real, Sheree, you brought your stupid ass on this show for this man to play you. Okay? And the reason why I'm so aggravated is because we're seeing the two of y'all on two different shows having or experiencing two different relationships. So if you're going to bring your ass on Love and Marriage Huntsville, trying to be seen, trying to make it seem like this is your man and you're going to stick beside him, somebody should ask you the real questions. So you've seen the show, right? So you heard what he's about, right? How do you feel about that? Oh, okay. And while you were around this woman's kids, have you met the kid's mom? I think Tiffany was asking the questions that I wanted to know the answer to. And I even more so enjoyed it because I felt like everybody else was just under this, oh my gosh, it's Sheree. Hey, Sheree, I want everybody to know that I met you off camera, and I want everybody to know that this ain't my first time meeting you and we cool, Tisha. Hey, Sheree, how you doing? I didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a fuck what Tiffany said to her. But what I will say is I do understand Marceau's Karen comment. Okay? I do understand Marceau's Karen comment. So back to this damn sit down. I didn't appreciate how Tiffany didn't just stand on what she said. This is the thing, and I say it on my channel all the time. I don't mind as long as you say it with your chest. Okay? So in that moment, when Tiffany was having a sit down with Sheree, I was all the way here for it because she was saying it with her chest. But then you go to the men and you're like, it's because I love blended families. I'm a product of a blended, my kids are a product of a blended family. I love blended families. That was some Karen ass shit. It was. And when he said Karen, I understood where he was coming from because that's typically how they try to play in your face. Karens. Karens will do something offensive, say something offensive. You call a thing, and as soon as you call a thing, no, I was coming from, that wasn't my intent. It was never my intentions to say that I prefer your hair pressed instead of an afro. It was never my intentions to ask ignorant ass questions about your culture. You can't call me a racist because it was never my intentions. Now I might be reaching here, but that type of, oh, well, I didn't know, that type of strategically misunderstanding or ignorance that's not really ignorance is what Marceau is talking about. So when it comes to these types of situations, I get a bit annoyed only because I can't just pick a side and stand on it. Okay. I can't pick a side and stand on it. So to break it down like this, do I care about what Tiffany said to Sheree? Not at all. I think it was warranted. I'm glad that she asked her the questions because you brought your ass on the show and you wanted to be the representative for Martell's temporary girlfriend. Okay. You wanted to be casted as his girlfriend on the show. And those are the questions that you're going to get. And if you came on the show and you didn't get these questions, I would have felt like I wasted my time and that you should have only stuck to my screen on Sundays and not Saturdays. Okay. So y'all, Marceau is just being passive the whole time. He's telling Tiffany not to curse in front of the baby. And the last comment that triggered me was that he ended up telling Tiffany that you also learned that Sheree was not quick to slap a motherfucker, right? The reason why I think that that's inappropriate is because it was almost a backwards ass way of saying, it wasn't nothing backwards about it. He literally said Sheree should have slapped your ass, basically. And for me, if I was Big Lou, I would have had to put them paws on him, okay? Or I would have had to address him in a way to where he would have wanted to put them paws on me. And I don't think that Big Lou came with that type of energy. Now, Martell sat there and allowed Marceau to do this entire thing. He allowed Marceau to ask all these questions. He allowed Marceau to act like he was just so astonished, as though him and Marceau didn't have the conversation prior to him even meeting up with them. Marceau already knew what the fucking drill was. Marceau already knew what you came there to film for, right? And I also want y'all to notice, as we move into the next scene, we talking about Tisha and Marceau, right? So the episode opens up with Tisha and Marceau. We find out that it's another 2 to 3 years on this house. Yeah. When I started the damn episode and they talking about, yeah, I guess I didn't realize it's going to be another 2 to 3 years. You know, you can't rush the dream. Y'all, stop talking about it. Stop talking about it. Stop talking about it. Stop talking about it and show me the money. Okay? When I say that, I mean, don't say shit about that house. Just show it to us. Literally, I think that y'all are taking longer than Chateau Sheree to build this house. And this is a historic length of time. You know, within all my years of watching people build dream homes on reality TV, this is a historic length of time. Like I've never seen anybody take this long. I've built a house myself. I've seen houses being built. It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult, especially when you're in the real estate industry. You're in the real estate industry. You're in the building industry. Building. And it's still looking like sticks and rocks in my Phaedra voice. It looked like a bunch of sticks. What is y'all doing? Stop bringing this shit up. Stop bringing it up. Stop bringing it up. I'm not saying that it won't happen for y'all. Y'all should be capable. Y'all are millionaires. Y'all are, I mean, allegedly, right? When y'all first came on the show in the first season, I think y'all said y'all were all millionaires. Y'all have businesses. I believe it's possible for y'all to build this dream home. But just stop talking about it. Okay? It doesn't make sense at all. Just stop talking about it, okay? What you say? In Love Black says, even with the supply chain delays, it's taking too long. They're not billionaires they claim to be. She also says that's why he don't want to pay for the expo. That's why he wants y'all to come and talk at the expo for free. Okay? So he can give the contractors their initial payment, but whatever. Okay, so we find out that they're moving out of the house that they live in now, which is the house that they downsized into while they waited on a dream home. Only for them to move out of this downsized house into an apartment to get the downsized house fixed up to move back in it while they wait on a dream home. Just tell me that you bought some land. You bought some land. Just tell me that. You bought some land and you haven't done anything to start building on it yet, and you spoke too soon on TV, right? And the other thing is this: if you're going to move out of your home to get renovations done, because number one, let me say this: you can absolutely live in a home while renovations are being done at the same damn time. At the same damn time. But the fact that y'all are moving out, to me, makes me feel like y'all are getting something major done to this home. Something major. Especially if you're going to go move into an apartment. Maybe it's an apartment you already own. Hopefully you didn't sign a lease. That would be dumb, right? So why put that money into the home that's supposed to be temporary instead of putting the money into the sticks and rocks that you got? Y'all, the math ain't mathing. The math ain't mathing. I don't understand it, okay? And I would love for them to come on and educate us and let me know what it is that I'm missing. So, anyway, Marceau recaps the sit down that he had with Martell and Tiffany, and he ends up telling his wife everything that happened, right? But this is what I want y'all to know. I want y'all to know Marceau's level of don't give a fuck in this scene. One thing that we always see them do is be very calculated in the way that they speak to each other, the way that they speak to their wives, the way that they word certain things. They're very strategic, okay? And in this scene, I felt like we was getting the real Marceau. I think his level of give a fuck was gone. I think that it's clear that he doesn't fuck with Big Lou and Tiffany. I think that he's always felt a way ever since Lou came on the show and was pillow talking with his wife, Tiffany, right? Because just the way that he was like, you can gossip, you can go tell everybody what happened. The way that he was sitting in his confessional saying that Tiffany was not that pretty. The way that he was in his confessional saying that Tiffany was a habitual line stepper. He just lit her ass up, y'all. And y'all should go back and watch because I was shocked. And I feel like that scene is a conversation that we get with Marceau and Tisha when the cameras aren't around. Or I guess we don't get, I should say. Now, the other thing I wanted to ask y'all about that I skipped over is at the beginning of the scene, we see Marceau and Tisha kiss. Am I the only one that's noticing in this season we're seeing them be more affectionate? Every time we see them, they're kissing. Like, what PR person y'all didn't got with to tell y'all how to act on this show? Who have y'all got with to say, hey, you know, in previous seasons, we didn't have rumors about, is this my man's back? We didn't have multiple rumors and allegations from season to season. And for whatever reason, y'all think that the answer this season is for y'all to be lovey-dovey, for y'all to kiss, for Marceau to finally realize that his wife should be a partner and not a servant or a doer, right? So I don't know. I've just been noticing it a lot, and I'm just like, didn't nobody ask y'all for this? I hope the best for y'all household. I would hope that y'all love each other and that y'all are affectionate. But the thing is, it just does not feel real. We've seen y'all on this show for 6 seasons at this point. And I believe like whenever we first got y'all on the show, y'all were more affectionate. But now it's like, be for real. Quit playing in my face, right? Okay, cool. So at the same time that Marceau is recapping the situation to his wife, Tisha, we see Tiffany going home to Big Lou. And when she's talking to Big Lou, she recaps the situation. She says, you know, they just came at me. Note, they came at me also translates into, I feel attacked. Very Karen-esque, okay? And she ends up telling Big Lou that after they finish lighting her ass up, Martell says, you know what, maybe we should have had this conversation with your husband. So 2 things can be true. I think that Tiffany can be a Karen, but I also think that 2 men should not approach a pregnant woman. I don't think y'all should approach her on that negativity. Now it's a fine line, right? It's a fine line because for one, had Martell came to that business meeting by his damn self and had the conversation with Tiffany one-on-one, I wouldn't have felt no ways. I wouldn't have felt no ways about it at all. I don't think that a man should only communicate with another man on behalf of his wife. I don't think it calls for all that. I think that if Martell came there and had the conversation with Tiffany, it would have been just fine. But my issue is that Martell brought a sidekick, and the sidekick lit Tiffany up like a fucking bulldog, and Tiffany had nobody there to defend her. That was my issue. So that's the way I feel about it. So yeah, 2 things can be true. Tiffany can be a Karen, but on the other side of things, I don't think that that situation was handled the way it should have been. So Lou is like, okay, I'm gonna handle it. Just wait until I go talk to them, right? So we get about what feels like 20 minutes of Kimmy and Maurice throughout this episode. And they're talking about the obvious. They're talking about the fact that they're having less sex during chemotherapy. Talking about the fact that Kimmy feels bad, that even as she's fighting this cancer, she feels like she has to fake an orgasm for her husband. And then Kimmy meets up with her friend after we've already heard Kimmy talking for 15 fucking minutes about not giving her husband enough sex. Kimmy meets up with her friends again, and she has another conversation about what Maurice's expectations are for sex. Y'all, I really love that they're documenting this journey. I love that they're having candid conversations about their sex life not being the same. But I didn't need as long of a scene as I got about it. I didn't need Kimmy and Maurice talking about sex. I didn't need Kimmy and her friend talking about Maurice and Kimmy having sex. That's ridiculous. I felt like it was lazy, and I felt like the story probably was not given as much this episode, and y'all knew that y'all wanted to leave it on a to be continued type of thing. So y'all wanted to give us like some filler, and that's all it was. Yeah, I know, right? Janice says Kimmy being surprised about the low libido was weird. Libido was weird. I thought everyone knew that happened. Plus, she's a nurse. Yeah, she knew. You know, it's for TV. It's for TV. Okay. So finally, y'all, we get to this baby shower. We get to the Whitlow's baby shower, and I will say the Whitlows have a beautiful house. The Willows have a beautiful home. The inside was newly renovated. It looked like the outside was probably an older home. They painted the brick white. Y'all, the house is beautiful. And I feel like that was the first time that I saw the inside of their house, maybe, or maybe we always see them. I don't know. I feel like the house that we've seen them in before looks completely different. We've seen their backyard. We've seen them sitting in the dining room. D says that was not their house. That would make sense. That would make sense. Because I was just confused by that. I was like, hold on, this house looks different. The house is beautiful. Why haven't they been showing this house? Okay. So yup. Okay. So we at the baby shower and all the castmates are sitting at this one baby shower table. You see Stormy. Oh, it was an event space. Airbnb. Interesting. You see Stormy and her husband Courtney, and they're sitting there. And I'm calling out Stormy and her husband Courtney because this may not be as talked about because it wasn't really a big scene. But I want y'all to realize how fucking messy Stormy was. And I also want y'all to realize this. As bad as a friend as they say Mel is, it's giving Stormy wants beef. Stormy kept saying, I want my mom to see how cool me and Mel are. I want her to see me and Mel's dynamic, right? Yep, this is the comment for me. Stormy kept saying, well, I thought we were friends, so I just wanted to have a conversation with you. Are we cool? Stormy kept saying, well, I just love peace. Stormy want everything to be Gucci, right? And Stormy was messy as fuck. Stormy was rolling her eyes. And I'm going to tell y'all straight like this. The behavior that we're seeing from Stormy is the type of behavior that you see from somebody who has been talking shit about you behind closed doors to other people. And when those people who they've been talking shit to are in the presence of everyone together in a group, they have to make sure that their actions match the energy that they've been talking about you behind closed doors. And that's what I was getting from Stormy. Anytime it's a one-on-one with Mel and Stormy, I just want to be cool. I just want to make sure we was good. I just wanted to, yeah. I just want peace. I just want us to talk about it. I just want to do that. You just want peace. Anytime you have a witness, shit change. When we was in the spa, because we're invested in this point, y'all. We was all in the spa. When we was in the spa, it was, well, that's how you move past stuff, okay? That's how you move past stuff. You don't just let stuff linger on. You talk about it. Okay. You're saying that unsolicited because Mel didn't even address you at the spa, okay? Mel didn't address you at the spa. Mel addressed the group. But you're giving your unsolicited opinion because you want to make sure that you look like Billy Badass. And you want to make sure that whatever you've been telling the other ladies, you look like you're not scared to say it to her face. I've seen it before, okay? Not only that, we get to the tea party. And when we get to the tea party and they have this etiquette class, you talking about, but what if I like to cuss? I just like to cuss. I don't like to do all that. But what if I don't? Do you want to know why you were giving that energy? Stormy, I think you were giving that energy because I think that the general consensus is that Mel is fake and that you not with that fake shit and that you were too real for that shit. And when you came to the tea party, you wanted to send a message to all the witnesses that you had at the table that your energy in person matched the energy that you was talking behind her back, which was that you was too real for the fake shit. And that's why you and your mama came there ready to address Mel while Mel was on some fake shit, right? Not only that, let's see. Mel comes and sits down at the table. I told y'all that the entire cast was sitting at one table and they start talking about the situation with Tiffany and Sheree and the conversation that Tiffany and Sheree had. Mel says, Y'all aren't gonna bother me one bit talking about Martell. Go ahead and talk about Martell. It's fine with me, right? So Tisha ends up saying, yeah, so I think she said, oh, you think you're good like that to where he won't cheat on you too? And Mel ends up saying, on that note, I'm going to go make my plate. And you know that Mel wanted to bust out laughing. But Mel also is in a unsafe space. So instead of giving personality, Mel rather just give them dryness. Mel rather just appear indifferent. Mel rather not give them her authentic reaction, because what will they do? They'll use it and they'll turn it against her. So she's in an unsafe space, right? So Mel is like, okay, on that note, I'm about to go make my plate. She comes back. Stormy says to Mel, because again, y'all, we dealing with somebody who's too real for this shit. We dealing with somebody who is Billy Badass. So Stormy decides to initiate something, and Stormy, in front of all of her witnesses, who she's been talking shit to Mel about, or talking shit about Mel too. Let me say that. She then says, "So you don't know her? So you don't know her, y'all?" She said, so you don't know her 2 times. And after the first time, didn't even give Mel time to answer the question. And I'm going to tell y'all what that was. What she thought that was a setup. What she thought that was a setup. She thought that Mel was going to lie. And the way that she asked the question, I don't know if it's bad editing. I don't know if Mel said something before that, but from what it looked like on my TV screen, the way that they edited and presented it to us, was Mel sat down with her plate. Stormy didn't want to end the conversation. So Stormy says, so you don't know her. Y'all, that's not how you ask a question. Are you asking, do I know her? Or are you disputing that I said I didn't know her? Y'all, Mel never said she didn't know her. Mel said, I met her a couple years back when I was headlining a conference and she had her book signing. And then as soon as she said that, Stormy and Courtney look at each other like they had a fucking attitude. And I was just confused. Mel didn't deny that she knew this lady. Mel said she went to the book signing. But Mel also made it a point to say that she didn't drive in her car, as you mentioned. You drove to the book signing, because y'all know just the fact that somebody, the way that they listen to the words, y'all, you drove to her book signing. Well, number one, how else was she gonna get there? But the fact that you emphasized how she got there, y'all are making it seem like she had even more eagerness or even more fangirlness, that she had to drive cross country to go meet Sheree Whitfield. That was not the case, y'all. So that answer wasn't good enough for you, and you and your husband looked like some fucking haters based on Mel's answer. And I'm so glad that Mel answered the question and told y'all exactly how she knew her, because what y'all were waiting for was, y'all was waiting on her to lie. Y'all was waiting on her to lie so y'all could be like, oh nah, you a fan. Tiffany said you a fan. You a fan. When in reality, the fan is Tisha. Oh, really? No, she doesn't even know her. She's been around the group before. This is my first time meeting her. Oh, sure. Goodbye. Okay. So I think that y'all, even though that scene wasn't supposed to be about Stormy, it was a whole lot about Stormy. Okay. And it's just, you're starting to see a pattern. You're starting to see a pattern. Okay, so as far as the men, Marceau and Martell end up showing up, and as soon as Martell, okay, period, Harold. So again, Tiffany is messy, but so is everybody else, right? So Martell and Marceau end up walking through the door, and Mel says, you need a seat? You can take mine. I'm about to go. Now, y'all, I did not care that Mel left as soon as Martell showed up. I think that was the right thing for her to do. I think that this man is in the business of torturing her life, and I wouldn't want to be around his ass either. One of the things that I want y'all to note, though, is as soon as Mel got up and left, Martell said, I'm just going to come and I'm going to have a conversation with Big Lou because don't nobody got time for what Mel is on. When I show up to an event, you leaving as soon as I get there. Well, my question to you, Martell, is if you truly came to the event just to come to the event, why would it matter when Mel left? Why wouldn't you complete the scene? Why wouldn't you continue to talk and actually hang out around your friends after the fact? Why would it bother you that Mel left as soon as you showed up if the purpose of you showing up was to talk to Big Lou? You're in the business of torturing this woman's life, and every time that this woman revokes her proximity, you act an ass or you feel some type of way, and I think that's exactly what it was. So anyway, the men go outside. They have a conversation. I didn't even take notes on this part because literally my logic was just that Big Lou was too friendly. I will say this, y'all. He wasn't friendly like Ronald McDonald, okay? He was very direct, y'all. He said what the issue was. He let them know that, if my wife is wrong, I'm not gonna go up for her just because she's wrong. But I don't respect y'all coming to my wife and talking to her knowing that she's pregnant. You don't do that, which I loved. I'm glad that he did that, right? But Marceau's big, disrespectful, goofy, big back ass decided to crack jokes, and ultimately the guys just end up laughing and talking like guys do because they never really want to fight, or whenever they do fight they make up because they know too many secrets about each other, Martell and Marceau last season. Right. So they end up being cool off that. Meanwhile, Tiffany is in one of the rooms. She's getting dizzy. She's seeing stars. She's cramping, and they end up going to the emergency room. Stormy is in there trying to help take care of Tiffany. I think Stormy also sees this as an opportunity to be leveled up in the top 8 MySpace box. I think that Stormy saw this as an opportunity to let me be there for Tiffany. Let me solidify my spot in this group and let me be cool, right? So Tiffany and Louis end up going to the hospital and leaving the actual baby shower. And then they leave the episode to be continued, which I assume is why we got probably 12 minutes of listening to Maurice and Kimmy's sex life. Ugh, these Mars are too much. I forgot to add that Maurice Luther King Jr. brought his ass outside. Okay, I'm just gonna say he brought his ass outside. He didn't know nothing about the situation, but he brought his ass outside to play back up again. I guess in case Big Lou wanted to get a little, I guess he was gonna jump in like they did Martell last season. But y'all like the video. I'm gonna read y'all's comments and then I'm gonna go ahead and get off. Cause yeah, it's 7:48. It's not even late. So yeah, like the video. I'm gonna come back on and read y'all's comments and then I'm gonna head off. Okay, cool. Let's see. Pool 11 says Nell was a little messy too, and Chris Fletcher was quiet. I don't remember what Nell said. Yeah. Actually, I do. Nell was the one carrying. When I say carrying, Tisha began to talk about what was repeated between Tiffany and Sheree, and Nell kept going, oh, but did she say this or did she say that? Yeah, whatever. I don't really think much of Nell. Meek Mills says Dorky Corky Stormy is the real fan. I read this comment earlier, but I stand by it. Tiffany is messy, so is everybody else. And then Miss Cookie Ray, thank you for being a member. She says Stormy was trying to create a sense of thirst that Mel simply doesn't have. J12 aka says, what's wrong with being a fan? Many r/were fans of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yeah, I guess so. There's nothing wrong with being a fan, but my issue with the cast is that they're in such a protective mode over Sheree as though she can't get the smoke too. And that's Tiffany's point. Anytime somebody else bring their ass on the show, y'all allow them to get the smoke. Y'all recruit whoever y'all want to recruit on the show to come on and ask questions and spill their tea. Why can't Sheree get the same treatment? Is it because she is a housewife and y'all are admiring her? I think she should get the same treatment if you wanted to bring your ass on this show. Bonnie says, yeah, like she was a fan. Lee Pepper says, two little boys. And I'm assuming that you're referencing Marceau and Martell. D says, it's sad that they're fanning over Sheree. Shows how pathetic they are. Lee Pepper says, glad she left. And this is in reference to Mel. Mel said, access denied. Exactly. But yeah. No, I'm not talking about Martha's Vineyard. Martha's Vineyard, what notes? What has been going on in Martha's Vineyard? Bria, I guess, is another example of a Karen, in my opinion. All of these people low-key get on my nerves in one way or another. Like, I didn't think we would let me not say all of these people, okay? Jasmine and Silas get on my damn nerves. Jasmine and Silas get on my nerves, right? Married life. Your life has changed so much ever since you got married. You don't know how to be a friend anymore ever since you got married. And this, my friends, these types of people, the people like Jasmine, I said I wasn't going to talk about this, but let me say this. People like Jasmine, who their identity becomes like being wife is your identity now. You should be able to peep these people from a mile away before they even get the man. And I can tell y'all why. I had a friend like this. And I peeped it before she got the man, before she had the baby, that was going to be her identity. That's why I always try to say to y'all, like, it's important to make sure you choose friends who actually have shit going. People who are missing things or feel like they don't have, as much as you do or whatever, they dive into this new identity. And that just tells me that you probably didn't have that much going on before. Not only that, Jasmine, I feel like you don't say it with your chest enough. You knew good and fucking well that you told Bria that her boyfriend could come to the house for a week. And the thing with Jasmine is that she does not like conflict. Jasmine doesn't like conflict. Which is why she bowed down so quickly when it came to this dog situation, and then waited for Mariah to puff up her chest, and ultimately end up kicking Mariah out of the house because they took a group vote, right? So y'all allowed Bria to manipulate y'all in that situation, kick your best friend out the house, and now Bria is manipulating y'all again further by calling y'all racist. Or should I say threatening to call y'all racist if y'all don't allow her boyfriend to come stay there for a week. If this is not the epitome of a Karen, y'all, Bria didn't say, you're racist if you don't let my boyfriend come. Bria said, if you want to do that, I'm going to say it's racist. Because that's exactly what it is. That was a threat. That was a Karen-esque threat. Now, y'all, the other thing is when it comes to Nick. This is one thing that I said that I was going to try to stop doing. But I'm going to let y'all know. Whenever Nick said that he had a secret that he wants to tell everybody, and whenever Alex was like, yeah, I knew what his secret was, but I wasn't sure if he was telling anybody, y'all tell me in the comments what y'all thought Nick's secret was. And I'll just see if I agree with y'all or not. Somebody tell me in the comments, what did y'all think Nick's secret was that he was hiding from the group? Ultimately, we found out that Nick had a girlfriend, but that's not what I was thinking he was going to say. And it's not because he dresses well and wears colors. Not at all. Not at all. Let's see. T says she thought that Nick had a whole baby mama. That's an interesting guess. Monique says she thought that he was bisexual. I think that's a great guess. That was kind of in line with what I was thinking. And Harold just simply put a rainbow up because it's Pride Month. Happy Pride, y'all. So yeah, I just did not think that was gonna be the secret. I was like, you have a girlfriend, right? Okay. But let's see, who is it? Preston, I love. Amir, I love. Jordan, I like her too. I don't have anything bad to say about her. Alex, he's an interesting one. Alex describes himself as a reformed fuckboy, basically. But the mystery in Alex, to me, still gives fuckboy. Just a fuckboy who does yoga. I think he probably has done some healing, but with all the girls where they're like, I don't know if he likes me, I don't know, I can't tell. I think that Alex probably could still meditate the panties off you. He probably could, and that's dangerous. But y'all, I don't have any other thoughts on Martha's Vineyard. I still think y'all should be watching the show. And honestly, I could give y'all little 5-minute kikis like we doing right now. But as far as a whole review, whole 15 minutes or so, I don't think I feel like talking about it for that long. I don't. But y'all, we have been on here for an hour and a little bit over. We have talked about Real Housewives of Atlanta. We talked about Love and Marriage Huntsville. We talked about Martha's Vineyard. We didn't talk about Bell Collective. As far as Bell Collective, Tisha and Glenn, Letitia, you look like an abuse victim. The way that you were running from your husband. Latrice, you look like a victim as well. You're being mentally abused by your husband. Your husband called you a bitch on national TV. It's quite disgusting to see. Marie, your nostrils is 2 different sizes. And I think that you got it fixed because in your confessional, they was the same size. But when you were sitting down at the table talking to Tambra, your nostrils was 2 different sizes. And I need you to pipe down, Marie, because you looked fine before. Marie really did look fine before. But if you do any more work, Marie, it's going to be given like puppet cousin Skeeter. I need you to stop. I need you to stop right now. Okay. And that's coming from a place of love. I need you to stop. Okay. So y'all, thank you for coming on and doing this reality roll up. Y'all, make sure you share this video with your friend. I'm going to share it on Twitter. Do the little hashtags. I'm going to change the title of the video. This really was a whole reality roundup. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if y'all want to talk some more, be sure to come back Thursday where we're going to have Ooh Ladies First Panel on my channel. We missed last week, but we're back to it this week. And we're going to talk about all the stuff in the news as well as all the TV shows, okay? And I will see y'all in the next video. Good night. Bye.